Okay, I'm going to have to talk about the chair.
Well, that was a nice little jingle jangle. Heather knows.
You know what? I just thought we'd get in the holiday spirit.
Am I ever not in the holiday spirit?
We put
Heather
up our Christmas
knows.
tree yesterday. 2 days
Two
ago.
days ago. But I play Christmas music all year long.
Wild. You live
In
a
the
wild
kitchen
life.
while I'm baking.
So we thought we'd add a little bit of holiday spirit. If you are late to the podcast and it's midsummer, well, you are about 6 months behind.
Catch up. Come on.
I just need to talk about what happened this weekend.
Guys, when I can laugh. When I laugh, you guys have experienced my laughter on the podcast.
We
but
all, our
when I
eardrums have.
heard about this chair, I just, like, you know when you're just, like, silent laughing, but your body's shaking?
Okay, to give some backstory, you know, growing up, your mom, your dad said, don't lean in the chair.
Always.
Okay, but at 33, this month, I bought the chair. I can lean in it if I want
And
to.
Heather's
It's
been
my chair.
a mean lean in this chair.
Kind of like gets the creative juices flowing when I throw it back, and you know,
It's her office chair, so she's in it all the time because she never not works. But when she wants to take a break, literally, she puts her feet up on her desk, pushes back on the chair.
opens up TikTok for about 2 hours. Okay, so the chair wasn't a huge investment for me. I got one of those clear acrylic IKEA chairs because when I was in a different office, it was pretty dark, so I didn't want to have like a dark furniture piece. So I figured the lightest furniture piece has got to be a clear one.
Light go through it.
So probably a week ago, I'm leaning back in the chair and it makes this ungodly sound.
Before that, it had been giving you a warning sign.
No, so you know, like, okay, pretend you're sitting in a chair and then oddly look between your legs. With the area between your legs, it started a crack there.
A stress
It was
fracture.
very stressed. So, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't know this chair was trying to fight back to my leans. But, like, it's funny because then even when I was slouching in the chair, so it wasn't even leaning back, but clear, this back was not meant for the human spine. I mean, this chair wasn't meant for the back of the chair wasn't meant. So I'm slouching, and it makes it, and every time this little stress fracture starts to grow, Phoebe looks violently up, the cat, and Corey says, "What was that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's this chair." So this has happened for the last week.
More the
2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've had the chair for 5 years.
It's been going. It's time's coming. Every time I hear the little crack, it's the chair saying, "Please, Heather, please stop it, please. I just want some more porridge." Anyway, so okay, whatever. And then you know, like those like very clean, I'm already laughing because I know where it's going.
you know, those little clean fractures, and like if my little like leg skin got too close to it, it would pinch it. It would just,
because it had already fractured enough where it's now pinching skin. So,
Okay.
but Heather said, "No, you
going
keep
to-
being you. I'm going to keep my main
Sometimes
lane."
you just need to lean in a chair.
So,
sometimes you just
Friday night.
So yeah, Don is in Michigan. So I just, you know, a lot of times we just FaceTime each other. Just I guess it's
Weird. I could never do that, but
boyfriend
go
from
ahead.
700 miles away. So I'm FaceTiming him, and then I get the I guess he was delving into something. I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna lean back." I lean back for the last and final time in this chair. Okay, you know the stress fracture is coming between my legs.
Yes.
The entire back of the chair gives out into a completely...
Like where her bun hiney would touch the back of the seat.
Last week was a horse's bum hiney. Now it's mine.
where she would literally meet the back of the seat. It just pieced out.
The whole back. So do you understand what's happening? I'm leaning back. The back gives out. Where do I go? I go over the back of the chair. I'm 33. I think that you're not supposed to be following this hard. Steve thinks she's about to end her life. If she had been fractions closer, she would have
So
died.
many fractures and fractions happening today.
So Fee's all startled. I'm just legs in the air. All you can see on this FaceTime when I look up is my foot. And the back of this chair is underneath me. The legs of the chair are back to not being in a leaning position. And I just want to stress to you, and I know we're like spending way too long on this, but I need to paint this story.
Go ahead.
The back became the world's biggest razor blade. And it honestly took off the entire back layer of my leg and bum hiney. I didn't need to shave, and I will not need to shave for a while. But I'm going to post a picture in the group with absolutely no context because I need you guys to understand how violent.
I just wish.
truly
I don't know. I think someone was looking out for you because if I would have witnessed that.
I don't think I would have lived with that. I even had to confess to Corey because clearly this clear chair is no longer
I just get a
with
text
us.
message. That clear chair pieced out.
Blood, death, and destruction. Like, you know, like when you feel that immediate pain, you're like, oh, that's probably just but a flesh wound.
Pure shock.
It was pure shock. And then I like grab my leg to feel like, but it's just so bloody,
Gross.
which I know is just gnar. But Yeah, I've been walking around. I've been hobbling. I'm still leaning.
She stole my share, so now we both have Uggo shares.
Okay. But my Twinterest today is the replacement chair, which will be purchased, already has been, with the spine in mind. Can't lean in it either.
It forces you.
You
I hope it has a little rolly, so it just rolls right out.
It's a rocking chair.
It's a rocking chair.
That's how you can stop leaning.
But you can lean in a rocking.
It has no back. It only has a front. You lean forward. It's a kneeling rocking chair.
Heather's contraptions are the weirdest thing. Okay, but if you are like, where am I?
So sorry, there's a marketing podcast here somewhere.
You have tuned in to Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing. We are a marketing group on Facebook that spun off and does this podcast because I said when I bake and I'm decorating cookies, I like to listen to things, specifically podcasts. So Heather made my dreams come true, bought this fancy equipment, and sometimes you guys put up with us and listen to us.
So this podcast is, walk us through what the sequence is.
Okay. We got a sequence. The intro you just experienced. Heather lost a leg. Then we go to the marketing minutes, and it's just about it's about how you can market in your business each week. Business of baking. I honestly don't get the difference between those two, but Heather loves them, so I'm just gonna say business.
Like marketing minutes is more marketing focused. Like here's something that will help you in marketing, and the business is like blueberry. You got to take a brain break sometimes.
Okay, we'll understand it one day. Course coverage. Heather and I have a course that we are covering. Voicemails, none y'all called. Group stuff, Twinterests, and sponsors.
And mailbag, but Corey and I didn't go to the mailbox because Corey was supposed to. It did.
Heather also said she was going to go on Friday, but in turn, she surprised me.
It's been a wild week in Twinland. Okay, but for the marketing minutes, I'm going to dive right in here.
Give them some value because they just had to witness the whole cheer thing for the last 10.
But you know what? You guys didn't have to listen to this podcast.
Also, the podcast is free. so
you guys get to enjoy my escapades with these cheers. Okay, so I saw this on TikTok, so roll your eyes. But it is mirrored in a lot of the books.
Was it while you were sitting in that chair?
Probably. Probably the last thing I heard on TikTok. But the guy says, when you reply to people, reply with the end result that you want in mind.
Explain.
Okay. So here's an example. Corey knows this person. We have this crazy client, and I'm only calling her crazy because I can't use curse words on this podcast.
Heather.
Just kidding. She's lovely.
Kids are listening.
Her name is Michelle.
That is not really her name.
But Michelle is she's a lot of work. She is, kind of those clients who's pretty difficult.
We would just call him a high maintenance client.
High maintenance client. But here's the thing. She only wants to take cookie classes, and she does a private class with 15 people. That's $1,000. So it doesn't matter if she's pretty difficult. I'm willing to put up with that because she's literally $1,000 for an hour worth of work. She even makes our class shorter. So
even though the class is shorter, she does all the marketing because she gets everyone to sign up. We just have to deal with her.
Right. So to me, an easy exchange, $1,000 for probably a copious amount of emails. But to me, well worth the exchange. I'm absolutely fine with it. So she does this every year. One time she'll do this event, but she is managing about 15 people, which isn't an easy task. No. So I sent her, she said, okay, I want to reserve one of your classes in December, which December is the big money-making sugar cookie class time. If you're thinking about cookie classes, December is a license to print money.
Yes.
Everyone really is in the mood. It's a lot more fun, but it's a ton of work. So Michelle says, I want to reserve one of your classes. So we take off one of the classes. In fact, we actually add an extra day because then she changes her mind and says, I don't want the class day that you've chosen. I wanted the weekend prior.
Yeah. So then now we're put out, but
okay, at the end of it, $1,000. And hey, so Corey and I actually built out an entire other day of classes so that we're not just there for one class. Right. So that's 2 full days, 2 weekends in the holiday season of classes.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's also a huge payoff. So again, not complaining, but I send the invoice and she wants to pay at net 30. If you don't know what net 30 is, it means you send the invoice and she doesn't have to pay for 30 days.
Yeah.
However, she never does pay. Cool, but she's saying, I'm working on it. They got to get approval. It's kind of involved with the government a little bit or something like that. So it's got to, then she says, I need you to resend the invoice this way. I need you to change this line. I need you to say that the cookies are like,
that there's no teaching fee and that it's a team building event and you happen to be there.
Right. So, okay, whatever she needs to do to get this approved. This is what we did the last time. It's nothing new. But now the invoice is sending constant reminders saying, hey, it's late. It's past due. Yeah. There's no penalty for it. I said, don't worry about it. Just pay it when you get to it. But I'm not going to go change the due date because I do need her to pay it.
Yeah.
But every time the reminder email comes to her through QuickBooks, she asks me another question. So I think it's her way of saying like, hey, I know it's late, but I haven't forgotten about you. can we get a picture of this egg? Can you send this? Can you do this? Can you do this? So I'm like, wow, this is a lot of work. But again, she's $1,000. She sends an email yesterday, need to cancel. All of this is an abbreviation. Need to cancel, will reschedule, sorry, like SRY. Frustrating. Like one that day, that's an entire class we either have to remake if we want to. I've already done the work. I've already done the invoicing. I've already done the emails, the back and forth. It's on the calendar.
Time is in. Time has been spent on this that is now yielding a big old egg.
So I roll my eyes and I delete the invoice. And I say, that's it. I'm not going to reach out to her again. But then I think about it.
Last night.
I thought Corey realized when I was leaning in my chair and had this great epiphany. I said to myself, what is my end goal? Like, what is the end result that I truly want from Shelly? What I want is I want her to reschedule the class.
You have called her 5 different names so far.
Shelly, Michelle, pain in my butt, pain in my bun, honey. So I said to Shelly late last night, I said, hey, Shelly, absolutely. Frankly, I respond as Corey, so none of this is off my back anyways. I say, hey, Shelly, absolutely no problem. I understand it's got to be just astronomical to work with 15 adult schedules and try to get them all in the same room. Canceled the invoice. You won't get any of those pesky reminders, but you know where to find me if you want to reach out. And she said, immediately says, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to reschedule. So I get my Xanax out and I say, I'm ready. Just kidding. But the thing is, what I initially wanted to do is like, Shelly, you're wasting my time. You wasted my time for now over a month. It was 55 days past due. I've been working with you for so long. Now you canceled. You'll never hear from me again.
Yeah.
But what's my end goal? My end goal is to make $1,000. Okay?
Yeah.
So I wrote that email with the end goal in mind, the end result that I wanted. So I forgot the emotions I had currently because those aren't the end results that I wanted. I don't see myself in the future. Yes, I'm still angry. That was my goal.
Right.
I want $1,000 and I can work with Shelly down the road. So knowing that, I put my emotions aside. The time wasted, okay, it's a write-off, sunk cost. I can't get it back.
Right.
But what I can try to do is salvage this relationship and get her back into the classroom again in the future. And she said, I promise you I'll reschedule.
I think we'll see her again.
I think we will. Shirley is consistent.
Consistently difficult.
So that's my challenge to you guys. So let's think of how we can apply it to cookies. I know this is cookie related, but let's say a client needs to cancel an order. They're still within their cancellation window, so it's fine, but you've gone back and forth. Odds are they already know you. If you make them feel good about this cancellation, when they inevitably place another order, it will be with you. But if you make them feel bad,
yes,
they will be too embarrassed or too upset to work with you again in the future.
Yeah, like, oh man, Heather, I can go ahead and cancel that. You are in the right time frame to cancel. It puts me out a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. But next time, if you could give me a heads up of a week and a half, then it would make it easier for me. How does that make you feel?
Oh, I was like, I don't like it. I don't want to be in this room. I'm sweating.
And that's why, and it honestly is good to have your boundaries and your terms in place. Because if they did cancel outside of the 5 days, let's say you said that, hey, Heather, totally understand. So glad you got to me in the 5-day span. I hate having to keep someone's non-refundable deposit, but you definitely hit me at the 6 days, so you can expect that to hit your bank account within the next 4 days. I look forward to the opportunity to bake for you. I know things arise. Life is crazy. I'm so happy that I could be the easiest part of whatever that came up.
Yeah, and now Corey feels like she's on my side because I wouldn't have placed an order with the intention of canceling it. Something truly probably did come up. And I know it's easy to be like, well, they probably found a cheaper baker. And maybe they did. But a majority of us do have crazy lives and things do come up. And it's unfortunate. But the more pleasant you make a negative experience, the more likely someone's returning to you.
Yeah.
So you're going to reply. You're going to every business interaction you have. You're going to reply with the end result in mind. I know somebody in the group was like, hey, I'm trying to schedule a cookie class, but the venue won't write me back. It's easy on the 5th email saying like, okay, clearly you guys aren't interested.
Yeah, you don't want my money.
That's your, but what's the end goal? I would like to use this space.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, I would really love to use this space. There are some other options for me, but again, you're at the top of my list. If you guys don't get back to me, I guess I'll have to, but just know that you guys I love working with you. I love this space. If you want to reach out to me, I'm always here.
Right. There was a lady who reached out to me for an order. Very intricate. Many colors, a lot of details. I quoted her $90 for, I think, 14 cookies. And I said, hey, if that's out of your budget, no sweat. She said, hey, that's a little bit more than I was thinking of paying. These kids are only 6. And I said, girl, you're preaching to the choir. My son doesn't even appreciate custom cookies, and I bake them for him for free. So I didn't make her feel awkward. I wouldn't pay $90 for cookies. I should.
Right. I was saying, these cookies are expensive. They are out of budgets.
So instead of making her feel awkward, my prices are my prices, she came back with a simpler design.
Right. So validate people with the end goal in mind. Okay, yeah, I'm not cheap and I don't cheapen my things. Okay, that's not with the end goal in mind. That's a great thing to have the boundary in the back of your mind, but make the person appreciate, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. Cost of goods has risen considerably. And, I'm a little bit more of an advanced baker, so I am very proud of the product that I offer. If you can squeeze it in, great. If not, maybe we can come up with a more simple design option or lessen the order and you can still get these amazing cookies.
Yeah. But if anything, you're still being true to yourself, but you're also being kind to them.
Emailing with end results in mind, which sounds super self-centered, and it is. But everybody wins when you're self-centered with the end results in mind.
Because I want to take your money. I want you to buy from me. So how can I bring and marry those two things together? And usually it benefits both people. But I don't have to give extra. You might not be in your budget this time, and that's absolutely fine. But we can find a middle man there.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing within relationships. So, okay, hubby never takes out the trash. My gut instinct, I'm not married. If you fell for that,
please give us all this amazing
advice. As a marriage counselor of non-marriedness, you would say like, oh, you never take out the trash. Ooh. Very short-sighted phrase. That is validating how you feel. What it does is invalidate how the other person feels. I'm sure they never take out the trash. Never is a very defining statement.
Yeah.
Now, if I come around and say, hey, Hubs, would you mind taking out the trash? I'm a little busy. It would be a great help. Now, what's my end result? I want the trash taken out.
Yeah.
How am I going to go about that? The short-sighted reply is, you never take out the trash. Well, no, it's definitely not going to start.
Well, I'm going to prove you right.
Right? And then the long-sighted results in mind approach is, hey, would you mind helping me? It would really help me.
And usually people will come up to the
plate. You're just grabbing some random words.
Good today.
You need to sit in the leaning chair. It inspires. Okay, that's my marketing minutes. So the business of baking. Corey, you want to tell a story?
All right. Last week I had a stressful week of baking. For every week. I have my own stress bucket. My husband calls me a stress bucket. Heather calls me a stress bucket. I bring stress on to myself. Not sure why.
I
love to age my face.
She likes buying skincare products, and this is for sale, which is running from now till the 15th.
But I was working on this order. I could not get the design right of what the client wanted, but I had already said that I could do it. So I'm sending this sad email. The cookies are for Friday. It's literally Thursday night. Oh, no, it's Friday night. The cookies were for Saturday. And I'm telling this lady, hey, I'm going to have to go rogue and do something that, one, will dry in time, two, that is not what you ordered. So I was stressed because I was going to let them down because this client is picky, but a good kind of picky. She tells me exactly what she wants. So this is something she wanted that I was not going to be able to deliver.
Right. So Corey was heckin' stressed.
So then my husband comes up to my little cookie room, knocks on the door, peeps in his little head, hoping he doesn't get his head chopped off. And he said, hey, let's talk about dinner. I was like, yeah, what do you want? He's like, let's talk about it downstairs. It's hot in this room. Hot-headed. So I was like, okay. So I mosey downstairs when I'm emailing this client, telling her the bad
Corey's
news.
face is knee-deep around.
But then Heather's standing there.
Me and my grandma, who wanted to ride along, and Nate had all gone in on a Bosch mixer, which I had asked some members of the group to help me pick.
Gosh.
The Universal Plus 500 watt, which is technically 800 watt.
6.2 quarts.
Something.
I don't know.
Something
it's the big
cheap.
daddy. And I would never in a million years have bought it for myself. And I could not have been more surprised, excited. Heather thinks I'm not surprised enough in my adult life. So
unless your chair breaks underneath you don't know surprise.
But it was so cool. So me and Heather started talking about, like, why would you never buy this mixer on your own? Because Heather told everyone, Corey will never buy this. I am not worried that she has it stored away in her prop fridge.
No, I wouldn't fit. It was huge. But here's the thing. The mixer isn't cheap by any stretch of the imagination. But as soon as Corey looked at it, she said, I can do what took me 3 hours in 1 hour with this. I can create that much more dough.
Yes.
I guess.
I haven't tried yet, but yes.
Right. So 3 hours down to 1 hour. That frees up 2 hours of her life for something she was already doing. Now, 2 hours of your life multiplied by however many days you bake or you create dough.
Yeah.
Create dough.
Make a batch.
Yeah. So how many hours of your life have you gained back with this investment? Granted, Corey's is a gift, but it'll come back.
Right. I honestly don't know. When I do, it takes all of a Sunday when I do these big batch bakings.
So now I imagine that would take half a Sunday.
Yeah. I think I could have my Sundays back.
So Sundays, now you could either take that time, which time is money, and either spend it doing nothing and just chilling and relaxing, which is still a great investment. That's an investment back into yourself. Or you can use it to sell another set. Now you've just freed up half a Sunday. You can considerably knock out a lot there. So now the cost of this investment, I think it was $450 or something.
Yeah.
With shipping and stuff, around $500. So $500, not chump change. It is expensive.
Right.
But imagine how much is your cost per dozen?
Base price is $65.
So let's just say you can take maybe 2 dozen extra and a half Sunday. Is that something that sounds right?
I could do 2 dozen, yeah.
Okay, so in the Sunday that she now has freed up, it would take 2.5 Sundays to pay back for that mixer.
Yeah.
So it's an investment. It's a front load cost, which $500 is not just something you have sitting around. But what it does is pay back into your life. Either you can sell more or you have more time, and time is money.
Yeah.
So we've come up with a list of a few things that are investments. But in the long term, pay off if you use them correctly. Like at the end of the day, if you buy this stuff and leave it in the box, baby girl, baby boy, I can't help you there. You have to actually sit down and learn these things. But the investment and the time investment will pay back more than you realize.
Dividends. So there's a lot of things in the baking world that you can invest in, baking and the marketing world when it comes to baking, that you can invest in that will pay you back in time, less headaches, less stress, and all that. So you can actually do what you're supposed to do, bake and create custom orders. The first one I have on here is a website. Websites.
Upfront cost, upfront time investment.
Yes.
Frustrating. Okay, but long-term payoff that somebody can come and purchase from you even when you're asleep.
So we call a website your 24/7 salesman. They never sleep. They never take a break. But there is a cost associated with it. But it does so much for you and for your business that the cost is worth the hassle.
Yeah, and it's a hassle. And there's some options if you don't want to deal with the hassle, but it is not free. None of this is free because we're either spending money or we're spending time. Another great one is Eddie. So I know people like to talk about Eddie. He's $3,000, $2,000 refurbished if you can get on the list and wait for one. But $3,000 is, considerably more than $500.
Right.
But how many more cookies can you produce and how much faster can you open up a new demographic and things like that? So a lot of people, one lady did a Facebook Live on Eddie and she said he paid for himself in 3 to 6 months. And has since been now just bringing her in profit from his, and more time. She has more time.
Yeah. So Eddie is great because the stencils you would have to buy to do an airbrush design, those are obsolete. Plus the shipping cost associated with buying those stencils, the airbrush colors, that's the storage for it, the time it takes. If anyone knows me, I hate airbrushing. It's because I'm really just severely bad at it. But the time to clean an airbrush system after you use the color blue or black should be illegal, to be quite honest. It takes me so long. But I'm always like, it'll get a clog if it doesn't do it. So you got to do it. So the time in there, Eddie takes all of that out.
So you have to sit down and truly know your numbers, right? I can guarantee that you can't just go willy-nilly buying a bunch of the stuff we're saying here.
Yeah.
Except for beads. They will definitely pay back in dividends. But the concept is this. What if I invest in my business today will save me more time and effort in the future? And that's a business of baking because that is a true business mindset. Mm-hmm. Investing today with a long-term payoff for this item and the benefits of either additional income or more time.
Absolutely.
What else did you have here? Oh, teaching cookie classes. That's awkward.
Or
Corey,
taking classes.
Oh, yeah, taking classes.
Yeah.
That's what Corey had mentioned. So, okay, classes aren't that cheap, the good ones,
No,
right?
they can get upwards of, you're thinking, well, CookieCon classes went up. You could pay almost $400 for a class.
Okay, so $400, not cheap. That's, frankly, mixer territory.
I know.
But now you can charge more for florals. Now you have a new offering. Now you can upcharge your generic base price cookie with these additional things. And that's one of those things where I'm investing in knowledge that will pay out in an increase to my bottom line.
Yeah, so you're investing in yourself versus investing in a tool, but then you can charge more and you can make more.
I know people listen to the podcast and they're in the group and there's no end in places to spend money.
Absolutely
so here's how I'm going to recommend somebody approaches. Create a list of all your wish list items. And now put a number of which one you think will have the most important. Now, number 1 through 10, which will have the most effect on your business.
Yeah.
And down to the least. That most one, if that one is the most important, that one will have the most effect on your business, that is your new goal. That's where you start. That's where you put your target. Everything else doesn't matter until that one is fulfilled.
Right.
Don't get distracted if it is a Bosch mixer. Eddie doesn't exist until that Bosch mixer is purchased and pays for itself.
Yeah.
Then once you knock out that, you can look to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. That way you're not being pulled in every direction and making no forward movement.
Right. Another one is a 3D printer. I know how much I'm on Etsy all the time. It's what I do for fun. I sit on, watch Netflix, but I'm really on Etsy. Each cutter is about $5 to $6, but that doesn't include shipping. So that's a lot that you could invest in your cutter collection. But a 3D printer, on average, each cutter is about, what, 30 cents?
I think Sam Cookie University says like 36 cents or something like that. Either way, much cheaper than Etsy. And I love the Etsy cutter sellers, and it's a lot easier, and they have cool designs and stuff like that. But printing yourself, again, you're looking, it's a little bit more. You have a Fusion 360 subscription if you're selling these.
How much
if not,
is
you can,
that, a Fusion 360?
I actually have the student version, so it's free to me.
Oh, nice.
But like Sam's Cookie University has the Bella plugin, which saves a ton of time, but it's $100.
Okay. $100 one-time fee? Okay.
For I think, there's a personal and commercial licensing there. I don't know about it. We don't sell these cutters, so I'm not really sure. But even if you didn't use the Bella and you use Fusion 360, you got to learn it. Which Sam's Cookie University tells you for free how to learn it. So.
Right. So Heather went into it she made my first cookie cutter almost 1 year ago.
It was on Thanksgiving Day.
Christmas
Day.
Yeah.
And came down to a custom printed spaghetti. So then we had to retool it, and I took some classes online, and people are so willing to give information.
Right. But now I never had to learn it, but I get cutters at the snap of a finger. So guys, get yourself a twin.
Big investment up there. But the cost of the Ender 3, which I think you got on Black Friday, was $180, $160, something like that.
It was.
Cost of a spool of
was about $30.
$30. And then Fusion, you can do it personal use, I think, for free.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're not selling them. So most of us are doing that.
Right.
And then you can create up to 10 project files, and you got to archive them or something like that.
So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but look at how much money you would save. You'd save on buying the cutters and the shipping of the cutters.
But you also open it up. So when the client sends to Corey, this is my flower for my wedding, Corey sends me a photo of a physical flower that we turn into a cookie cutter, which is another really amazing offering that you can upcharge more on.
Absolutely.
So that's what I like. So again, create that list of top 10 things you wish you had. Then number them 1 through 10 in accordance to how big of a difference they'd make in your baking business.
Right.
So we don't want to put Eddie at the top if you don't have any Eddie clients lined up. If the Bosch mixer would save half your Sunday, that guy's going to move forward. If a 3D printer would give you more access and it's more cost effective at $180, move that one to the top.
Yeah.
And just work it down that way.
And I think if you saw it in a list form like that, you wouldn't get so
flustered
or so overwhelmed that you're like, well, it's so out of reach right now. Why even try? Because you'd have a goal in mind and how it could help you be successful at your business versus being like, well, there's no way I'll have $3,000 for an Eddie. If you say, well, hey, if I could take on this much more work, if I had an Eddie, you'll start seeing it in a different way. It won't be so overwhelming and such a far reach.
Plus, it's always nice to have a goal in mind and like say, hey, this. Someone posted in the Cookie College today, Square is offering this, it's becoming like a banking institution.
Okay.
Well, scrape off a percentage of your income and put it in a savings account, essentially. So you can say, okay, I'm going to allocate 10% of my sales for the next...
Take your profits, essentially.
Yeah. And then put them in a savings account through Square so you can't see it or touch it. But it's constantly going into this fund that you can go and check and be like, oh, I'm this many dollars away from a Bosch mixer. I'm this many dollars away.
Oh, I mean, that's smart. And especially if you're pricing for a profit, which you should be as a business, that profit can be turned into buying things for your business, whether it be classes, whether it be tools, a 3D printer, something like that.
Right. And that's how you grow. That's how you scale.
Yes.
There's only 24 hours in the day, so things that put more time in your day are an awesome way to scale your business. Okay.
Also, thank you for my birthday present.
I'll make
I'll make you a cookie. I have to write a giant cookie today.
Yeah, I think my teeth are black from the writing. Okay, so the course. So the Cookie College, it floats around at 250, but I think we created this healthy dynamic. We have people coming and going as they take the classes. So if you want to sign up, it's thecookiecollege.com. You'll see 2 membership options, the digital downloads, which are 12 posts that you can post throughout the month. You get one set of 12 every month.
And they're pretty themed. So right now it's a very Thanksgiving kind of theme, pretty fall colors.
And I make them all in Canva. I also make them in Photoshop. You get both of those files, and I walk you through how to use them and how to use Canva, the free version.
Yeah, so you're not having to buy Canva on top of it just to use it. She uses the free version so everyone can partake.
Right. And then if you want everything, which includes the digital downloads, sign up for the Cookie College. And if you want to sign up for the year in advance, you get 2 months free. Same with the digital downloads. You could sign up for the year in advance and get 2 months free. So it's $100.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the Cookie College is $68 a month or $680 for the year. And you get all the courses, which I think we're over at 40 now. But for this month, I've written up the courses that we'll be creating and publishing. So we got Gmail Power User Tips and Tricks. This is my favorite course. It has honestly changed my life.
Can I say, Heather set up my Gmail for me. One, I look professional. It's not Corey the cookie maker at gmail.com.
Yeah,
it's hello at the Crumb Cookie, so I look professional. I have an autoresponder that goes out instantly when someone emails me, letting them know that, hey, we've received your email, expect a reply once we reviewed the form. My form's also attached to that, so they can fill out the form right there.
Sounds pretty basic, but actually I would consider myself an intermediate Gmail user. So I use tags and filtering. I use color codes, and I use Zapier.
Heather's calling herself intermediate.
Because I know there's like mega advanced users.
To moi, she is a rocket scientist.
So anyways, these hacks, these tips and tricks would really streamline. If you look at your Gmail and then you shudder in horror, this would be the course for you to take. So again, it's in the Cookie College. We also have a bake-along tutorial ring box cookies. That's all Corey.
I love it.
That would be a great addition if you like to work with brides and like that bride upcharge.
Yeah.
Come find me in the comments if you don't think you should charge more for weddings. November digital downloads, that rolled out yesterday or last week.
Yeah.
Everything you need for Christmas DIY kits.
On it.
And that you're giving them photos to use to promote.
I'm giving them the photos in a brown box. They're getting the same photos in a white box. They're getting everything I've bought.
You're giving a link to the boxes.
Link to the boxes.
Cookie cutters.
Link to the cutters, and then they can use the photo. So, hey, pre-gaming. And then I think this time I'm going to take a few pictures, but I'm going to mix up the cookies so it doesn't look like it's the same.
So they can have multiple posts.
Yeah.
Genius, guys. So again, $68. If you can sell 2 kits, you covered our cost, really. Wax seals for luxury packaging. So something we like to do is review products that Corey spent way too much money on, so you don't have to.
Yes.
Wax seals are pretty neat. A lot of people use them to kind of give you that.
On all my wedding sets, because you're designing something that's like stands the test of time, like supposedly marriage. Don't tell that to my first husband. He didn't read the book. But the wax seals to close the thank you cards that I give, I think it just adds an extra special layer of elegance to it.
I love it. And then we're actually doing a MailChimp course, but in the time that we're covering MailChimp, a new website sender, I blame, if Laura's listening to this, I hate you. I have 3 of them now, Laura. Flowdesk. Flowdesk is a new email sender. It's really intuitive, really clean, and very pretty. And you don't need our course to understand Flowdesk. I would recommend going to check it out. Their differentiator is that they are never free. So unlike MailChimp, that is free under 2,000 subscribers, Flowdesk isn't. But they'll never raise your price based off of new subscribers.
So what are you looking at per month?
38 without the promo. Last week it was 20.
Oh, did we get in on the 20?
3 times.
Well, why do we have 3?
One for the crumb cookies, one for sugar cookie marketing, and then one for a
you
client.
already said the word I cared about.
One for a client that would work really well with. Okay, so that's the course. Again, thecookiecollege.com. If you want to sign up, it'll be a bunch of enroll here's, and you can actually preview kind of what the courses look like, what the courses cover, and then like kind of what's coming.
And then on top of that,
there's more.
There's more. There's a group, and that's where I give all my free stuff. So photos.
If you guys are in the Cookie College and you're not in that group, so help me join the group. That's what you paid for.
And it's so much fun.
So much fun. We also do Facebook Lives in there as well. And then I get to do my deep, in-depth write-ups on various marketing things that are coming down the pipeline in world like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. Okay, voicemails. We had one text from Beaumont in Galveston, Texas, the 409.
409.
Okay, so little backstory is Corey had a. I'll agree. I'll be the first to say that Corey's cookies are expensive. I think they're expensive.
I think they're expensive when I'm making it.
So she sells this really custom set. I only know because I had to create the cookie cutter of the state of New Jersey.
Yes, it was 2 designs. 3 colors.
A hot dog, a chubby hot dog is what you told me to make. Like a hot dog had a super bunny bun, a bum hiney.
Big bum hiney.
And I think she ordered 2 dozen.
She did.
So it came down to 132. 132. And she was driving from Leesburg to here, which Corey and I will have to make that drive tonight.
It's about an hour.
Right. So she says to Corey, the prices are a little steep. But then, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table and I hear this glorious sound of an engine.
There's a car person, just so you know.
And you just hear it and you're like, that doesn't sound like a Honda Civic. And I can say that because I have an Acura Civic, essentially. But look over and it's the AMG Mercedes SUV. The Mercedes, G-Wagon? What am I saying? G-Wagon. The heaviest one they have. It's a huge car. It's $156,000 off the showroom floor. That's without the chip shortage.
And it was stunning. It was beautiful. It sounded amazing. It looked phenomenal. She must have just watched. It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. But it was $156,000, which if I had that money, Boo Bear, I would have my bum hiney, in a Mercedes milk truck. And I know they're ostracizing looks, but that car is truly luxurious.
Hers was gorgeous.
However, $132, that's still pretty steep. And in perspective, both things are very steep. And someone made a joke, said, well, no wonder it's steep. She has to pay for that car. And I agree, $156,000 is a temp change. So I made a post in the group that maybe a little bit high mashing, but I didn't think it was funny. So I locked my own comments.
But that's what this voicemail leads to.
Hey, Heather, I just wanted to say I came across your Mercedes-Benz post in the group, and I'm sad I didn't get a post my favorite meme before you locked it. Also, I really hope Corey handed that customers and shut the door and said, you don't look broke, in a perfectly British accent. Not even sure what podcast number we're on now. Season 2, episode 17. I'll eventually catch up. I sincerely hope Heather is wheezing into the microphone laughing now. Corey, you're welcome.
Thank you. 409.
Okay, guys, if you ever want to call into the podcast, it is 571-556-5644.
And guys,
call into the podcast.
Call into the podcast. Text into the podcast. Even if you just want to just chill and
shoot the...
I was going to... shoot the poo.
Okay, group stuff. Past lives that we've had. Bakery cleaning organization. Actually, we had how to ship cookies with
Deidre.
That was really good. A lot of people have questions on shipping cookies. And now she's like, hey, DM me, I'll help you.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Me and Heather are not allowed to ship cookies. So we've never done it. I think I did shipped cookies to a friend and they all arrived broken. So
I think we should still ship cookies to Don's grandmother just to see how they arrive as a test for other people.
Yes, I see this is not being a paid order that you're putting in there.
Return to sender. I need to eat them. Okay, we have some upcoming. Oh, actually today at 7 Eastern Standard is creating cookie designs in Procreate. Okay.
Oh, this is a biggie.
Right. This one's going to be a great one. Elissa Allen, she is so hype about this.
I know.
I need to take this class, and I'll be speaking at an event tonight, so I'll have to watch the replay, but it's definitely one I think would be really awesome for people trying to do mock-up designs for. Again, so Procreate is an iPad app. You need an iPad. It does not work on Windows. It does not work on your phone. It needs to be an iPad. And I think you kind of have to have a pen or pencil.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So the pencil does have that, pressure. So it can realize when you're pressing hard, just the same way you would with a marker. It would make it darker. And pressing light.
I'm going to need you to take this class because you sold me the fact that you need an iPad and a pencil.
Watching YouTube.
And I swear you never touched the pencil.
Graphic design and print marketing with Sabrina. Again, a great one if you want to take that in-house. I think she might be using Canva for that. I'll have to check.
I think she said.
Okay. And then a bake-along, making dulce de leche. I'm slaughtering that. With Michelle. That will be tomorrow at 6.
Sweet.
Literally. And then we have reverse calendaring with Jessica Genzel. So I like that one. She just taught a hot cocoa bomb live.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loved that.
I know. So she's telling us reverse calendarizing. Calendaring.
Sorry, Jessica. Fancy.
But the concept is working your date backwards. So somebody said, I don't get what this means. So let's say you have a date tonight at 8.
Okay.
Takes an hour to get there. So at 7 is when you're going to need to leave. But it takes you an hour to get ready. So at 6 is when you're going to need to get ready. Takes you 15 minutes to get your materials together. So at 5:45, you're going to have to start. And you work it backwards. But you're doing that with cookie orders. So you're never left scrambling.
But I think that's fantastic because cookies, as soon as you bake them, they start getting hard. So there is definitely...
That's my molars, how they know.
There's definitely a science to creating and moving everything along cohesively so you don't get this product to your customers and they're like, hey, well, these are hard as a rock, so what do?
Right. So I really like that one. And then how to use metallics. We just have a lot of them coming up. Those 3 are tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
And I know I got to add one from Vanessa. She's talking about graphic design again, logos specifically. And I want to figure out the day she rescheduled that to. Today, Corey and I will be speaking at the Sugar.Social in Leesburg, Vanish Brewery.
Yes.
We're going to talk about community over competition.
Yeah. And I am actually pretty excited about this.
Yeah, Corey and I think as twins,
we are great at this.
We are knowledge
experts at community over competition.
Yeah,
because for a big part of our lives, we were competition over community. I saw Heather as this person I was constantly compared to, but turns out if she's on the side of the road, I'm the first one to pick her up.
Right. So truly, like, who's taller, who's faster, who's smarter? Well, me. Okay, don't bring it up.
Stop asking. She's gonna hurt her feelings.
The concept is community over competition, and it works really well because this will be about 40 people who all sell cookies to the same demographic here in the
It'll be all of my competition in one room. I can't wait to trip on the way out. I'm just kidding.
We have the Meaning of Christmas collab. I got to add it to the calendar. Been a bit busy with our new event. The Black Friday Vendor Blender.
Vendor Blender.
So the Vendor Blender, I know people are slightly confused why they asked to join the group and haven't gotten in yet. It's a proverbial digital Walmart doors.
This is our first time.
Yeah.
So if it goes to hell in a handy, you just know. It's Heather.
H-E-double.
No, I'm referring to it as a place.
I don't think. Please weigh in.
A location.
Is that a curse word? Is Corey cursing right now? Do we need to change the rating of the podcast? So for the Vendor Blender, it is on Friday the 26th, Black Friday. So at midnight that morning. So
this will be the first time we ever got to push the button approve all.
Right. So we're clicking the approve all button. I don't care if you're a spammer, you're getting it.
If you like feet photos, yeah.
Anybody in there,
you can buy them at a discount.
Here's the thing. You won't be allowed to make any posts because this is a vendor blender. So the vendors will shop around. Now the requirement to become a vendor is they had to pay in $50 so we could kind of pull the funds together to do some cool stuff. And you had to offer a minimum of 20% off. So
20% or more.
You're guaranteed if you're in this group to get a 20% off coupon for all of the vendor blender stores.
Yeah.
And we said we had to have a minimum of 20 vendors or we cancel it. So I think we're at 16. We have 4 left.
Guys, recruit some folks. If you're listening to this and you have something to sell.
But it has to be cookie related. That's my only caveat. So here's what we have. We have the Cookie Box Club, which is cookie cutters, stencils, and digital downloads. That'll be 20% off.
Yeah.
Cheerful Cutters, cookie cutters. Laura Jacobson.
Hers are cute.
OMG Goodness Homestead. Okay, she's selling jams. I love it. She
Guys,
said she sold them to a lot of people in
Mac
the group.
Bakers, this is for you.
Brown bag cookie cutters. She's selling cookie cutters, but she's also possibly surprise giving away 1, 2, or 3. She doesn't know yet.
Of those, she has these golden turtles. If you find a golden turtle, you get a special...
You get 12 free cutters. You get a packet of cutters for free, which is awesome. The Sugar Pod, baking ingredients. That is Dallas. I'm excited for that one. Cute cookie kits, which is packaging. Cookie cutters can't have enough packaging. Mulberry Treats. If you don't know Mulberry Treats, they're hilarious cookie calendars for cookiers.
Yeah.
Really hilarious. They're Sprinkled Raspberry Bakery, Jessica. She's selling cookie classes. If you took her hot cocoa bone class, you're definitely going to want to take these. Sam's Cookie University. She has a 3D printing membership. I'm in the group there. It's $150 for you, but you get it 20% off. It's really great.
Yeah. And you get a new file every single Sunday. And
I think even more frequently than that. She's just uploading them constantly.
That's true.
And then you get the class, which I've taken those classes many times. The Mac Martins from Lovebird Cookies are doing one-on-one macaron classes.
And that's where I learned how to do it.
Yeah, so if you've taken any of James or Merity's classes, you're going to want to sign up for this. If you definitely want to dial... If Macs are on your offering list next year and you do not know how to do it, that's going to be one you want to take.
I sold 3 dozen Macs for $90 2 weeks ago. And how fast I could turn around those Macs versus if I made 3 dozen sugar cookies was mind-blowing. It made me want to never make a sugar cookie again. Even though I have this cool Bosch mixer now, you know.
Sweet Frosted by KC is cookie cutters, and
That's where I got that pencil cookie cutter. If you wanted it, she sells the boxes and the pencil. You can get a little bundle, so you don't have to go and buy a bazillion from clear bags. Just so you know.
Oh, nice. And the Bakery Business Planner is a physical bakery business planner designed for bakers by a baker.
Yeah.
And that will be there. I have quite a few more to add to this list. I just didn't get around to it. I've been trickling them out. But that, again, you can join the Black Friday vendor blender. I have it linked multiple times in the group. Just join it, and it'll be a blast. Hey, Cast Iron just emailed me. Can we join somehow? I'm not really sure how we do it since we don't charge anybody. Do you have any ideas? So I'm sure we can think of something for them. And I know Acore joined.
Acore, guys, can I say?
Yeah.
Okay, they always
think.
Okay, just double check before I say
okay,
what I say.
But they joined.
But I think you're going to want to hear what they have
Can
to
you
say.
reach out to her?
Didn't she put it in the thing?
I don't know. I gotta check.
Let me just look. I'm going to just pull up my forms and see if I can pull it real quick.
Sometimes I think I had the form messed up, so I might have to go down for a check.
I'm in job form.
Okay. So just to kind of detail what the vendor blender is, what we'll do is we'll let the vendors in the day before to kind of prep to get ready to post. Each vendor gets 2 content posts. That means an image or a link, whatever they want, but they'll include the discount coupon that you'll use, and also have the coupons pinned at the top. And then they get to do 1 10-minute Facebook Live. After they use their 3 posts, we remove them from the ability to make posts, and they can go in the comments and interact and answer questions. So it should be a fun day. At the end of the day, though, at midnight, the entire group self-destructs and it is deleted, which is the ultimate FOMO. Even myself, I'm in this group. I'm one of 2 people, me and Corey. And there's the ultimate FOMO.
Okay, I'm just going to say this.
Okay.
Acore Backers has the word 25 in there.
So allegedly 25% off, which she's never offered.
I've
25.
never
We only have a coupon for 20% off. So if you were on the fence,
I scared the cat.
if you're on the fence for backers, this will be a cool one. And I have a couple more names to add to that list, and I think we need to fill out the last 4 slots.
Can I also say Acore just released a Christmas red?
Oh, they did.
I don't know if I can say that.
I don't know. How do you know they did? She messaged you?
Because I'm a part of the release.
Oh, you are. I didn't hear about this.
I told you about it, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry. I must have been leaning in my chair. Okay, so now Twinterests. I've got to tell you, so with my...
You might have to take this all the way because I don't think I have anything interesting going on.
Really?
I don't know. My Twinterest is, it's my birthday. And if one person doesn't at least call in and wish it to me,
oh yeah, guys,
I'm going to ban you from all the groups.
Right now in the group, by the way, there's this hilarious post I found floating around.
So if you're hearing this, just go find that.
Yeah, it's a post I made today, which is the November 9th.
November.
And it says, my husband got really upset. We got in an argument. He gave me $500 to buy Christmas tree and ornaments. He said anything left over I could keep for myself to spend on cookie cutters, but he saw what I bought. Now he's really upset. Like, what should I do? I already spent the money. Picture of the tree is in the first comment. Okay, but the tree is like spindly tiny thing. The concept being you spend it all on cookie cutters for yourself because you're greedy. But people find it so funny. It just does really well for engagement. So if you want to steal that, repurpose it, go right ahead. It's doing really well for people. Okay, for Twinterest, my chair. What?
Oh, I'll do mine after. Go ahead.
Okay, for Twinterest in the chair that seppuku'd himself, I got this kneeling rocking chair.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you don't have a backrest because your back resting is usually how the spine curves.
I cannot wait to try that.
Okay, but you lean forward so your shins sit on these 2 little cushions.
Wait, is this like this stretching thing at the gym? Like, does it look like the stretching thing at the gym?
Like gym equipment. And then your bum hiney sits on this pad, but it forces you forward.
I cannot wait.
So your spine has to be straight. But people say, like, it's a hard thing to get used to, but once you get used to it, you'll never go back to a regular chair. Anyways, there's no back, so I can't lean in it, but I can rock in it. So
okay, my weird Twinterest is what Heather asked for her birthday gift.
I
don't know why me and Heather,
I ordered it yesterday.
Oh, I don't know why me and Heather give each other the gifts. We should just pay each other $200, but me and her have always spent $200 on each other.
Basically, we just handed to each other, but for some reason we
literally
spend
just
it.
said that.
Oh, sorry, zoned out. Ashley was asking what I wanted for Christmas.
Okay, but Heather asked for this weird It is a keyboard, but there's only 5 keys for the left hand, 5 keys for your right hand. And you supposedly, after 4 weeks of this learning thing, can type 125 words a minute.
You can type at the speed of thought. That is a tagline. And it's called a character recorder is what their thing is. And they say that, I had to watch some YouTube videos on it yesterday. The stenographer's stenograph is, with the software and the machine, it's $10,000. Wow. So the care recorder, they said the knowledge has come from working with stenographers, court reporters. But we've taken that knowledge and we've implemented it into these 10 keys. So, if you look at a keyboard, the only direction that the keyboard can be pressed is down. Yeah. And that triggers the character. This key can be moved in 5 different directions. And depending on how many keys are moved in various directions, they said it's over 17 billion combinations.
Yeah, because it's every word.
Right. So okay, let's say if you move 2 things at the same time, you get the letter A.
Memorize that.
You say just practice. Same way you learn a QWERTY keyboard. Just keep doing it.
I like to look at the keys.
No.
No,
you can't chicken peck on this guy. You kind of got to know. But they said it takes a while to learn. But the concept being it's very ergonomic. Your hands and aren't moving back and forth.
They're not. If you're on a keyboard, your arms are put in. It is a very awkward position. This supposedly is farther apart, and your arms are naturally. If you put them just in front of you, that's what the keyboard looks like.
Right. I'm all about ergonomics, and I think a lot of the people here have wrist problems because of how cookie decorating. So when you can start saving ergonomics through sitting at a computer, my mouse is it's vertical.
Heather's mouse fits in the palm of your hand. So hold your hand out in front of you, and that is what it looks like.
Put your hands by your side, and now pull your wrist up front of you. See how your wrist is, you're seeing the side of your pointer finger?
Yeah.
That's how my mouse fits in my hand, because that's a natural way for your wrist to function. And this mouse is super funny looking, and nobody can use it. But once you use it, you'll be like, my wrist feels so
Heather
good.
hated it the day she got it, and she was like, I love it.
I'm going to hate this chair. I'm going to hate the care recorder. I'm going to hate him. Okay. What was your...
That was my 20.
For the care recorder?
Yeah.
Ergonomics, kids. Focus on my 30s. Our sponsors are Eddie, who we have talked about at length. Love the man. He's reliable. He prints directly on cookies, which a lot of people say, I'm sorry, you typed that wrong. No. He's a printer for cookies, and it's edible, safe ink that is FDA approved.
Yeah.
Now, I think European has some different standards than we have here in the U.S., but it works. And I think Eddie is shippable across the world. They have these different vendors.
Get it anywhere, you said.
Yeah, so Eddie's really awesome. If you want to learn more about them, you can go to Primera's website. It's a Primera product. Or I highly recommend joining the Facebook group. Just search Eddie and join that group. Eddie.
Right. And if you want to see what Eddie can do, Eddie does have an Instagram, and they share things to their stories, and on there you can actually see the prints right there. So if you just wanted to see a long list of what it can do.
I've seen people printing on cheese, chips, cookies, Max.
M&Ms. I don't know how they do M&Ms. I have no idea.
Obviously cookies of all various shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Very neat product, not cheap, but definitely go look into it. People in that group are willing to teach you, train you.
Someone asked for 5 dozen cookies by Saturday, and if I didn't already have something to do, I could say yes by using Eddie. Otherwise, I would absolutely have to say no. So it allows you to have the ability to take on bigger orders, corporate orders, logo orders, things like that.
Ironically, for our next sponsor is Cast Iron, and Katrina just happened to send me an email 2 seconds ago. Okay. She said, I currently have a WordPress site. It's not set up for e-commerce because I'm still new and I'm just starting on the marketing journey. The Cast Iron site layout is appealing, but the fee they charge to me or my clients makes me turn away from it. My question to you and Corey is, do you actually recommend using them, and what are your thoughts on the fees? I'm just thinking of the holidays, but I want your honest opinion first. Great question. So what she's asking is about castiron.me. That's a website. So it's a .me website. Cast iron is made for bakers. That is their target demographic, whether it be bread, whether it be cookies, whether it be Macs. Their target demographic is people who are selling food from cottage bakeries. It's very simple. Because there is no forcing an e-commerce website to work for you, this one is designed for you. Yeah. Now, here's the interesting part. Cast Iron needs to make their money. That's what we always tell people, charge your worth. And now they're providing a very specific product that's very easy to use, that's hyper meant for bakers. Mm-hmm. There's a 10% fee off of your sale.
Okay.
That fee can be passed on to the consumer, meaning I'm charging $50 for a dozen Macs. they're going to see a 10% surcharge on top of that. And then there's a processing fee that every website will always charge.
Yeah.
Credit card processing fees, you cannot get around it, including PayPal and Venmo. The only way to get around it is to not use credit cards at all, cash.
Yeah.
Cast iron now lets the seller absorb those fees.
So as me,
You, Corey,
okay, if I sell a dozen at 70, what am I absorbing?
you're selling 70, so somebody's paying you 70, but out of that 70, 10%, $7 goes to cast iron for facilitating the sale.
Okay.
So I tell people like this, cast iron isn't for everyone, but it is definitely for some people. And the people I see that would be working for is people who have given up on a website.
Me.
People who have got a website that isn't functional right now.
Me.
Right. You. They're going to build one for you as a case study.
She's building it, but she asked questions about it. Did you get back to her?
I emailed them to you, said answer them.
Bun, honey.
Logo and stuff and product offerings.
I don't have a logo. You got it. You
So
made it.
cast iron isn't for people who are probably pushing like, tens and thousands of products. It's going to eat into your numbers. But if you do not have a website, I can guarantee you are losing sales. No, Heather, not. No, yes, you are. People prefer to buy from a website than they do to meet you with a PayPal transaction in a small dark alley.
Yeah.
Having a website will allow you to increase your sales. So people are like, well, Shopify doesn't charge 10%. Shopify charges a base price of $15. It goes up to $30, and then the plugins are exponentially more expensive. I think one of our clients is at $250 a month with Shopify.
Yeah.
And for a small store. But he needed the plugins. He wanted the remarketing. He wanted this. He wanted that. And cast iron kind of gives you all of that in one nice, pretty package that does a lot of things that other websites don't.
Right.
Or if you wanted them to, you're going to have to hire a developer to add that functionality onto it. So, Katrina, my answer for you is if your WordPress website is up but it cannot take payments, join cast iron for the holiday season and test it out.
Test it out.
Absorb the fees yourself, if it were me, and raise your prices so that you don't feel that.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
That's what I would do. So cast iron is pretty cool. They're actually in the group. It's Mark, Emily, and a guy named Matt that are in our group, and they're constantly listening to what people are saying. Cast iron just released that ability for the seller to absorb the cost.
Because a lot of people were saying. Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive. I have a call with Mark next week, I think.
Okay.
This week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark. Some week coming up.
We'll look
It's
on
my calendar.
the calendar. We'll
but yeah, I think cast iron is a really unique product. And I think that if you do your research and know your numbers, it could be a really great investment for people.
Yeah, definitely know your numbers. Our next is Bakety Bake. It's meringue powder. It's from a cookier, one of our own out of Idaho. No, Heather, I did not call you that. It is a awesome meringue powder. It's something now I'm just using exclusively. I've gotten rid of all the other ones because I really, truly do love what it does. It gives me a few extra seconds before it crusts over where I can fix any issues I had in my flood because I do like that very pretty, pristine, crust you get with the royal icing, and I hate to see any dots or candy kisses, as Heather calls them. I don't really know the technical name. Little candy kiss coming out of there. So Bakety Bakes does allow me to have a little extra time before it crusts, and also allows me to use a fine tip marker. It does have everything in it, so you wouldn't have to add extra vanilla. You wouldn't have to add extra white food coloring. It's all included in there, so you're saving on your cost of ingredients as well. There is a 10% off code, and it is Twins, TWINS.
Whoa.
It's hot in this room.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Check it out.
I think that is it. I'm going to close with this new holiday jingle.
Jingle
Jingle jangles. And we'll see you guys next week.